So does anyone have any questions from the homework assignment from Monday that they would like me to do as the warm-up? All right. If there is no questions on Monday's assignment, remember you can always email me, or Tuesday's assignment, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to solve this using elimination, which is what we did on Tuesday, the second half of the lesson. So where we cancel them out by adding and subtracting the equations together. So I'm going to do that again, except remember I have to have two variables that have the same number. And I don't. I have a 10 and a 5 and a 3 and a 6. So neither of these are the same number. So I'm going to make them the same number. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the equation by a number to make it have the same number as the other equation. So you can do that because it's still the same equation, it's just not in simplest form. So I'm going to multiply this whole equation by 2, and that will give me variables that will cancel out. So 2 times negative 5x gives me negative 10x. 2 times negative 6 gives me negative 12y, and then 2 times 23 gives me 46. What I forgot to do is I'm going to multiply it by negative 2 because I want these 10s to cancel out. So if I do 2 that's positive, I get negative 10 to negative 10, and that together is negative 20. But if I do negative 2, it becomes 10, and then they'll cancel out. So that'll be plus, and that'll be negative. All right, so I multiplied by negative 2 because I know that I can get the 5 to match the 10 by multiplying it and creating 10x. So now I have 10x, and then I'm going to rewrite this equation down here just so it's easier to see. And if you hear snoring in the background, that is my dog. She is cuddled up next to me snoring. So she is like a 45-pound puppy, but snores like she's a 75-pound huge dog. Okay, so I have 10x and a negative 10x, so that will cancel out. Then I have 12 plus 3 gives me 15y. Negative 45 plus 1 gives me negative 46 plus 1 gives me negative 45. I'm going to divide both sides by 15 to get y by itself. These will cancel. I'm left with y equals 45 divided by, or negative 45 divided by 15 gives me negative 3. So I have y equals negative 3. Now I'm going to solve for x by plugging it in to either equation and solving. I'm going to choose the top equation. So wherever I see y, I plug in a negative 3. So I get negative 10x minus 9 equals 1. Add 9 to both sides, and I get negative 10x equals 10. Divide by negative 10. And I get x equals negative 1. So my answer is an ordered pair, negative 1, comma, negative 3. So what I did for this one is I just made the equations have a number that would eliminate or cancel by multiplying the whole equation by whatever number will create numbers that will cancel out. So now I'm going to do another example for you guys. So I have 3x plus 2y equals negative 2, negative 6x minus 5y equals 2. So I want to I want the equations to cancel out. So this time I'm going to multiply the top equation by 2 again, because 2 times 3 will give me 6x. So I'm going to rewrite that equation down below. 2 times 3x gives me 6x. 2 times 2 gives me 4. And 2 times negative 2 gives me negative 4. So now I can add the two systems together and eliminate a variable x. And then I have negative 5 plus 4, which gives me negative y. And then 2 minus 4 gives me negative 2. Remember, we always want our x and y to be positive. So I'm going to divide by a negative 1 so that this becomes positive y equals 2. So I got y equals 2. Now I'm going to solve for x by substituting 2 in for y. I'm going to do the top equation. So I get 3x plus 4 equals negative 2. Then I'm going to subtract 4 to get the letter by itself. 3x equals negative 2 plus negative 4 gives me negative 6. Divide by 3, and I get x equals negative 2. So my answer is negative 2, 2. Any questions on this elimination? Need me to go over any parts again? Are we confused anywhere? Okay, so I'm going to do a story problem example now, and then I'll let you have time to do the homework. So a business buys 7 large delivery vans and 5 small delivery vans. And there's 2 locations. So location A receives 5 large vans and 2 small vans for a cost of $235,000. And then the second location receives 2 large vans and 3 small vans for a cost of $160,000. So what is the cost of each type of van? So I'm going to do what I did with the example, story problem example from Monday, and I'm going to create 2 equations. So I'm going to do location A and location B. Location A received 5 large vans, and location B received 2 large vans. I'm going to have the large vans be X, then 2 small vans for location A, and 3 small vans for location B. I'm going to have that be Y equals, so they got all of these vans at location A for $235,000, and then location B got $160,000, paid $160,000. So now I'm going to solve using elimination. So this one is a little bit trickier because both equations, there's nothing to cancel out. So what I'm going to have to do is multiply the second equation. Well, I could do either of them actually. I can multiply the second equation by 3, or the first equation by 3. I'm going to have to multiply both equations either way. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3, negative 3. And then I'm going to multiply this one by 2. Because if I can't multiply either of these to get one of these numbers, and I can't multiply this to get this. So I have to multiply both of them to create 2 new equations. So for equation A, I'm going to rewrite it as negative 15x minus 6y equals 705,000. And then for B, I get 4x plus 6y equals 320,000. Now, I have two numbers that will cancel out. So I can cancel out my y's. Negative 15x plus 4x gives me negative 11x. These canceled. And then 705,000 plus 300, or negative 705, oops, I forgot that, plus 320,000 gives me negative 385,000. Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 11. And I get x equals 35,000. Okay, so I solved for x. Now I'm going to plug that back in and solve for y. So I'm going to do this equation before I multiplied it. So 5 times 35,000 plus 2. Oh, I'm running out of room. I'm going to do a new page. Okay. 5 times 35,000 plus 2y equals 235,000. Okay. 5 times 35,000 gives me 175,000 plus 2y. Now I'm going to subtract the 175 from both sides. Cancel. 2y equals 60,000. Divide by 2. And I get y equals 30,000. So, whoops. I'm going to come back to this first page. X was 35,000 and y was 30,000. So my answer is 35,000, comma, 30,000. Oops. So there you have it, solving the story problem equation. So I'm going to let you guys have the rest of class to work.